I just want to talk about how we support you very differently to other business coaches. We want to understand you first, whereas other business coaches will ask you, who is your avatar? And I found that that's too far downstream. So we will never tell you what your niche is, what to sell. We want to understand who you are. Like, what are you exceptional at? What have you lived through? What do people naturally come to you for? And what do you want your life to look at? We build your business around that and who you're ready to become now. So we know that if you're here, there's more to you. You probably have a lot of qualifications, a lot of experience, multi-talented, and perhaps you're at a turning point where now you want to do something for yourself. You want to do what you love. Just a tiny bit about why I think you're here. You already know you're a good coach, you're certified, and you've had real client results and paying clients, but it's just been inconsistent. But now you're ready to build a business, not a hobby. If we look at the coach's journey, the first couple of layers are, you're just an aspiring coach. You haven't even decided if you want to be a coach. And the second layer is you're certified, but again, you're wondering, can I actually make money out of this? Maybe you've practiced sessions or you haven't, right? So you're quite junior here. And then level 3 is an emerging paid coach. Now, usually, if you're in the level 1 or 2, you're not the right coach for my coaching program, because I'm not here to persuade you that you want to be a coach and have a coaching business. It's usually people who have started selling their coaching, but it's been a bit inconsistent. So coaches who they know that they can do good breakthroughs and good coaching, but their money coming in is inconsistent. Or established coaches that just want to have a predictable income each month. And it's time to really say, now I want to build the life I want, not what other people are telling me. But often people say, look, I don't have money in my account. I am a good coach. So was it luck when I first sold that, a fluke, or am I good enough? Should I give up? I don't really want to go back into the job that I used to do in corporate because that's not inspiring to me anymore. So this is often the conversation that coaches are having in their head by the time they come and start working with me. Now, this is how we help people. We help them to get clear, get clients, and get cash. If you're in this room, there's no doubt that you want to get paid for doing what you love. Okay, there's going to be some obstacles in your way. You have unclear messaging, meaning that it's not easy for you to articulate how you support people. You may get ghosted by followers, meaning that people seem to be interested, but then they don't follow up and they don't pay. And yeah, you're underpaid. So the money in your account doesn't reflect how good a coach you are. How do we help you with that? First, we get you clear on your why you want to be a coach, your business blueprint, which we'll go through a little bit more in a minute, and your genius aligned niche. That means, what are you naturally good at? Not what I should tell you to do or what you think you should do or what the trends are. What are you naturally good at? Next is we help you to get clients. The most common question I get asked is, well, how and where do I find my ideal client? Then once you find them, how do you stay connected and position yourself as an expert? Right now, that's really important because there are a lot of coaches out there and you need to explain to people how you help them and what makes you an expert in helping them. The final step is we obviously get you cash. So we need a really good offer for you to be practicing and presenting, a way for you to have sales and conversations that convert into cash, and then remove any sales or money blocks or weirdness that you might have around actually selling and money. And this is actually quite a common thing that happens in coaches. How did this whole program come about? I just wanted to share a very quick little story with you. Well, I paid a coach $80,000. I wanted someone to believe in me. Actually, really, I wanted someone to give me approval and permission that I could do this. Instead, he told me that I would fail and I should give up. And he also said, well, why would anyone buy from you when they can buy from me? The truth is, I was crushed and it really shook my confidence. Eventually, after I picked myself up off the floor, I realized that I couldn't build a future waiting for someone outside of me to give me permission to have what I wanted. So I created something for me. I actually asked the universe, asked God to show me a sign. And this is where the birth of the business blueprint came. This eventually became a tool that helped many hundreds and thousands of coaches since. Initially, it was created for me. because I needed verification that I was on the right path. And so, yeah, things really shifted big time for me after that was created. A tiny little bit about me before, in case you don't know these things. I've been coaching since 2003, so that's 23 years. 7-figure coach, single mum. Everyone told me that you should be broke. Yeah, not the case. I have clients from 27 countries at the moment. Sometimes it's been more, sometimes it's been less. I've supported over 10,000 plus coaches. I'm connected to around 35,000 coaches around the world. And my aim is just to get coaches paid for doing what they love. But I realized that there were two real problems. There's the external problem of, well, what am I supposed to do? Right? That's my niche: offer, messaging, sales, systems, consistency, technology, tracking, time, team. And did you know that the average coach will jump their strategy 4 times a year? 4 times on average. Because if something's not working, instead of looking at where the leak is and what needs to be fixed, they just go and change everything. The second part is the internal, and this is the fear, the comparison, imposter syndrome, money blocks, sales resistance, procrastination, perfectionism, confidence. But the biggest one that I found is that 95% of coaches are still people pleasing. They're still worried about what other people think of them. When coaches come to us, often they are people who have a lot of genius, a lot of experience. They can actually go in many directions, and your mind might look like 47 highways just crossed all over each other, and it feels really overwhelming. So what we do really well is, here's where I'm a little bit like Rain Man. I can look at these roads and I can help you pick the one that makes the most sense, the most stickability. How do we do that? Well, it's by interviewing you and understanding what it is that is your genius. Look at the market opportunity, the life you desire, and who you want to step into becoming. We will then also help you to get clear on your expertise, your strengths, your credibility, your story, and we will put all of that together in a business for you. Like, we don't ever tell you what to do. We simply just diagnose, align, build, attract, convert, systemize, strengthen, and sustain what for you is the easiest way to make money and to be able to stick to it. So I'm going to share a little bit about what does that actually look like for you. And when I created this business blueprint report, this is the first version. The first one looks much more sophisticated now. It was obvious, as plain as day, that this is what I should be doing. Okay, it tells me why. Why is it my strength? What are my niches? What are my expertise? Why should I be doing this? And then it also helped me to break down my mission, my program, my posts, my package, pricing, and where I can find my ideal clients. In fact, it was so obvious that I kind of didn't trust it in the beginning, because I was like, let me do this again. And when I did it for the second time, I actually cried. I cried in relief, because it was like, yeah, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And then I thought, I wonder if I can share this with other coaches who are feeling confused, overwhelmed, or for some reason their confidence has been knocked. And so I started producing these. I did it for first around about 5 or 10 coaches who came back to me, and they were crying, because they said, finally someone sees my worth. They see my genius. I'm going to share really quickly with you another example. This is one I made. The name has been changed on it, so I don't want obviously anyone's personal stuff to be identified. But this actually extracts what is the most likely stickability, what is your expertise, what is the niche that right now is going to likely make you the most money, and what is your credibility and expertise in it. And then we help you the origin story, post 6 months, where to profile your clients. There's so much that we actually just build it for you. Once you have your business blueprint, then you choose your pace. And the truth is, there's 2 types of coaches. The first is they want to absorb what their business blueprint has given them, time to think, implement, and they're moving at their own pace, because often they're leaving a corporate job, or they're phasing out their corporate work and building up their coaching business before they leave. And there's a second lot of coaches who just want the momentum and to implement it right away. And for them, we created something really amazing that works super effectively called Arena 100. So it's 100 days of extreme accountability. It's really fun. Okay. They just want to implement, they want to have team, community, visibility, sales, mindset, execution, tracking. It's not 100 days of learning, it's 100 days of doing. Okay. So as you can see, we fast track everything. We get your business blueprint done immediately. We get your genius extracted niche. We help you to put your offer together. Everything's in template, so it's done really, really fast. We build your training for you, a free training, so you can communicate what it is you actually support people with. And then we help you to schedule and deliver your training and give you feedback on the training as well. Ensure that you're consistently visible. We have GPTs to help you with leveraging other AI to ensure that you've got content going all the time, how to have meaningful conversations. And we actually coach you on how to have these sales calls. Ensure that you're making offers consistently, get your next or your first client, and then hit your revenue goals within 100 days. So Arena 100 has been fabulous, especially for community accountability, responsibility, support, implementation, momentum, consistency, and actually making money. I mean, let's talk about the main thing. The main thing is making money. I did it myself. Some of you already know in that 100 days, I made $600,000. But the interesting thing is, before I started, I actually went to a kinesiologist. I said, hey, I want to make 100K in 100 days. That was my target. We did some testing and he said, so far your body can only handle $27,000. And that's when the birth of understanding money and sales blocks came about. And I thought, well, something in me, in my body, is blocking any more money. And so I started developing this process of removing money and sales blocks. That wasn't the most important part of the story, though, because what happened was that I built the revenue faster than my business could handle. And so the things that I had to master were the next 4 things, which I'm going to share with you. But my coach at the time did not have the skills or the capacity or capability to explain to me how to do this. And so now I make sure that when you're making a lot of money, you know how to do this next piece. So where I really fell down was managing my time and delivering to so many new clients. So knowing what to do each day, managing my annual calendar, consistency, and more importantly, taking time out for myself, for holidays, for my daughter. The second was technology, right? I did not have adequate systems in place to onboard so many new clients, to deliver, to do payments, contracts, and so on. And then the third was actually building a team to help me support. So knowing who to hire, when to hire, and the kind of profiles, having standard operating processes, all of these things that took me a while to put into place, but I give them to you to ensure that you don't get stuck. And then finally, tracking. So leads, tracking sales, revenue, payments, retention, referrals. The idea is that we know exactly where you're slowing down and what you need support with. So there's newbies and there's people who are, coaches who had a little bit of momentum before, but I'm going to share with you some new coach results. There's Janet. She took massive action. She made 64,000 in 100 days, and she hadn't had any coaching income for 3 years before that. So she helps people with what she calls the second mountain of their life to live a life of meaning. This is Libby. She's a new coach. She took massive action. She got her first 3 sales in 1 week. So she collected $9,000. This is Kylie. Took massive action. She made her first 2 sales, 1 renewal. She started running group events, posting videos. She was so shy before. And she helps people turn unconscious relationship patterns into thriving, passionate partnerships. This is me, as you know, close to $600,000 in 100 days. This is Steve. Now, he used to be in HR. He used to be a learning and development person, so he's already used to training. He made $248,000 in 100 days, and he was selling his own certification to corporates. This is Marla. She has a financial planning and sales background, but she really hated her job and she wanted her own business, and she started helping women through menopause at that time, navigating their health, but also their relationships. She made $237,000 in 100 days. We have Sabrina. She made her first 3 sales within 30 days, and she just recently sold her first high ticket offer. We've already seen Libby, who helps women come back to themselves. This is a really great story. Cindy is a parenting coach. She has 4 children, and she just made a $2,997,000 cash sale which is actually 5 times more than she had sold her program before. Now, when we remove money and sales blocks, a few things happen because many of you, if you're worried about asking for the sale, it's often a money or a sales block. And this is something we can definitely support you with. So I want to quickly share with you some of the results we've managed to get for some of our clients.
Recently, I went through Rani's wealth mindset session. Leading into that session, I achieved some fairly high, significant goals in my business. The challenge we were running, motivation dropped off a little bit. I'd already achieved the result.
I got stuck. I got a bit complacent and I lost my sense of drive and motivation.
I came to Rani because I knew that there was a higher level of my business that I wasn't reaching. And I was struggling to make and feel comfortable with high ticket offers. Even though I knew I brought a ton of value, I knew that it was worth that. Just the topic of making those high ticket offers on a consistent basis, I've always felt hesitant. And Rani put it so well because she said, Jane, it's like you have a foot on the brake and a foot on the gas at the same time. And that's exactly what it felt like. I was just stuck.
Since joining Rani's master's program and with her incredible support, in just a short period of time, I've had some huge breakthroughs in my mindset and in my business, which is just so exciting. Rani has also created such a beautiful and supportive community within her program, everyone uplifting you and celebrating you every step of the way in your journey towards more love, more money, and to the incredible life that you deserve.
I was able to break off any limiting belief I had around the specific topic I had had.
Working with Rani, she taught me through these incredible exercises, it guided me through this process. And in this incredible transformation, I then had to sort of realize, she was able to help me shift my mindset with that. And as a result of that, I was no longer scared to have these awkward conversations. I perceived them being awkward around sales and whatnot and money. And now I love money because now she helped me realize that money is a reflection of how my passion and purpose, because the more my clients invest into us, the more access they have to us, the more access they have to me, the more I'm able to serve and help them and live my purpose and passion to its full extent. So without Rani, I would still have been stuck. And the most crazy thing is, the most crazy thing is that after I did this with her, legit, the next week I had my 5-day challenge and I made my very first 10K week from my challenge. It was just mind-blowing. And I know that I couldn't have not done that without Rani.
So through this money mindset session, I learned so much about the logical process around thinking, emotions, and the neurological, the connections between emotion and mindset and the blockages that we have. She was so comforting throughout the whole process, which allowed me to be vulnerable and share, which then allowed me to have the biggest impact. And, as soon as we finished that session, all those blockages had been removed. And so much so that within the next 7 days, I made a $30,000 sale, which was phenomenal. So yeah, I can't thank Rani enough. This is definitely something you want to be jumping on board with. And Rani, thank you.
Through that session, she helped me identify the block that was there. She helped me kindly and with compassion to dissolve that block, to remove it, to learn from it, so that I could take those learnings into my future and learn from it, but also let it go. So I no longer had to be ruled by it. I could take my foot off the brake, finally. So since that session, I'm actually having a level of fun in my business that I haven't experienced for a while. And I just appreciate that so much.
Rani made me feel very comfortable, allowed me to explore both the conscious and also the unconscious challenges and the things I wanted to work through to achieve the next level of the result. Post-session, I closed at $40,000 in additional sales. Highly recommend this session. Rani was incredible.
So we had 30,000, 40,000. The record was Susan, who got 80,000 the very next day. These coaches did have some experience. I want to show you one from a coach who was brand new, a brand new coach. Okay, so this is Chris, who 8x'd his income after we've removed money blocks.
1 year ago, I attended Rani's Release Money Blocks Bootcamp. It was a 2-day, 8-hour per day bootcamp aimed at releasing your money blocks and rewriting your money story. At that time, I was in a pretty bad place financially. I was not really making any money, and both me and my partner were living off my savings. We had started a business about 6 months earlier where we were selling crystals and handmade jewelry that my partner was making. But we sold maybe for a couple of $100 a month, and it was very sporadic, and we didn't really have any vision about how to live off that. Then, about 3 weeks after Rani's workshop, we tripled our sales in a month. Not in a particularly well-known good market, just a random market. And then, towards the end of the year, Rani ran a workshop series called Money Mindset Release. I attended that, and as Christmas markets approached, we started selling for over $1,000, over $1,500. And what's even better is that the results stayed even after the Christmas season. In end of January in Sweden, when everything was dark and depressing, we still sold for over 2K in one market. And then it continued. And of course, we were also showing up more. We were going to more markets. And today, 1 year after the first boot camp, I'm making close to 6 figures per year if I extrapolate the results from the last few months. And that's, I would say, 80% thanks to the money mindset and money energy work, which I've been doing consistently with Rani. Thanks a lot.
This is also Jenny here, who 6x'd the price of her program with our support, and her income quadrupled in that year. But the idea of what I shared with you today is this isn't about becoming someone else, okay? It's about finally becoming more of yourself. We uncover your genius, we organize it, we build the business around it. We make sure it's more stickable, because the biggest mistake that coaches are making, and this is what Alex Hormozi says as well, your fastest way to being broke is to keep changing every single thing in your business every few months. Because this isn't working, I'll just change my niche, or this isn't working, I'll completely change my offer. When really what's happening externally is a reflection of what's happening internally. So get clear on what internally needs to be aligned to your genius, and it's really, really easy for you then to have your ultimate goal and your dream business, not just your dream business, but build your dream life. Now, if you do want to talk to me about this, obviously ftapply.com, or just ping me back. Thanks for watching.